Hi everyone, welcome back to the Learning Mindset. I am Teacher Don, and today we're going to be diving into a topic that every teacher faces daily, and that is classroom management. But not just any kind of management. I'm talking about 21st century classroom management. It's a little different from what we're used to, and today I'm going to show you why. Have you ever wondered why managing a classroom feels so different these days compared to when we were students? Gone are the days of rigid discipline and lecture-only methods. In the 21st century classroom management, it's all about engagement, flexibility, building relationships, and yes, technology. Today, I'm going to give you a quick overview of what 21st century classroom management looks like and why it's so important for us to adapt to this new landscape. Let's take a quick trip back in time. Traditional classroom management was often about keeping students in line. Desks were in rows and teachers focused on controlling behavior. But today, things have changed dramatically. Now, our classrooms are student-centered. This means that students are more active participants in their learning. We are using technology from tablets to applications, computers, Wi-Fi, and creating environments where students feel empowered and engaged. The key difference is that we're not just focused on controlling students' behavior, but also, most importantly, we're focused on engaging our students. So, what are the key principles of 21st century classroom management? Let's break it into four main ideas. First, it is student-centered. This means that students have more control over how they learn, and our job as teachers is to guide and facilitate, not just lecture. In a student-centered classroom, we give students the tools to explore, create, and solve problems together. Let's say you're teaching a science lesson about ecosystems. Instead of lecturing for the entire duration of the class, you can actually split the class into small groups and assign each group a different ecosystem by providing them with printed photos or posters. Then, you can ask your students to identify a key issue that affects their ecosystem, and they propose potential solutions. This approach allows students to engage in creative problem solving through collaboration in exploring the topic. It also encourages them to work together, think critically and creatively, and take ownership of their learning. Next, it's all about cultural awareness. Today's classrooms are more diverse than ever. As teachers, we need to be responsive to the different backgrounds, learning styles, and experiences that our students bring to the table. Let's say you're teaching an English class about short stories. Again, instead of lecturing for the entire duration of the class, you can assign students to read short stories or folklores from different cultures around the Philippines. Each group can focus on a different story that reflects unique cultural values, traditions, and worldviews. This activity promotes cultural awareness because students are engaged with literature from diverse backgrounds. It helps them see how cultural context influences storytelling and themes, fostering a deeper understanding of cultural diversity while improving their literary skills. It also opens up discussions about empathy, inclusion, and respect for each other's differences. And in turn, it creates a welcoming, inclusive space for every learner. And then, of course, next up is technology. Whether it's managing behavior with apps or facilitating learning through online platforms, digital tools have become essential for classroom management. For example, you can decide to use Class Dojo as a classroom management application where each student has a profile, and throughout the day, you can give them points for positive behaviors like teamwork, participation, politeness, and helping others, etc. You can also subtract points for disruptive behavior or failure to follow class rules. These tools help us keep track of students' progress, behavior, and even parent communication, all in real time. Finally, there's social and emotional learning, or SEL or SEL. This is a big one. SEL helps us focus on our students' emotional well-being because when students feel safe, valued, and supported, they are more likely to stay engaged and less likely to act out or misbehave. You can incorporate SEL strategies to focus on your students' emotional well-being and create a supportive learning environment. For example, at the start of each class, you can ask your students to rate how they're feeling using a simple feelings thermometer ranging from 1 to 5. By doing this, it lets you gauge the emotional state of your students and opens up the door for students to express their feelings safely without judgment. It also affirms them that it's natural to feel what they feel, and what matters is that you're there to support them throughout the day. So why is 21st century classroom management so different? It is different because the focus is no longer on maintaining order. It's about creating an environment where students are engaged in their learning, where there's flexibility in how they learn, and where students are empowered to take ownership of their education. This empowerment changes everything. Students today are used to making choices and personalizing their experiences, whether in digital world or in the classroom. Now, let's get practical. Here are a few tips to help you navigate 21st century classroom management in your own classrooms. Tip number 1, set clear expectations. Whether you're in a physical classroom or teaching online, setting up routines and clear guidelines helps your students know what's expected of them. For example, at the beginning of the school year, you create a classroom contract with your students, and together you outline key behaviors and routines, such as how to ask questions, how to transition between activities to another, and what respectful communication looks like. You can post this contract on the wall as a daily reminder, and don't forget to review them regularly. Tip number 2, use technology wisely. I know it's scary, but you don't need to be a tech expert. Start simple. You may try using applications such as Google Classroom to organize assignments and for supplementary materials. You can organize weekly announcements, due dates, and materials so that even when your students are at home, there's always something for them to review about your lesson, and they're always updated about school. It's okay to be scared, but remember that technology is learnable. And according to George Couros, technology will never replace great teachers, but technology in the hands of a great teacher can be transformational. Tip number 3, build strong relationships. Yes, don't give up on this one. This is probably the most important. You have to get to know your students, build trust with them, and create positive, respectful, and inclusive learning environments. You can take the time to conduct one-on-one check-ins with each student, and during these meetings, you can ask about their interests, goals, and any challenges they face, whether at home or at school. You can also create a student spotlight day where each student shares something about themselves with the class, fostering a sense of community and trust. Because when students feel connected to you, they're more likely to follow your lead. PJ Kaposi said, great teachers focus not on compliance, but on connections and relationships. James Comer also said, no significant learning can occur without a significant relationship. And lastly, Theodore Roosevelt said, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you can. Tip number 4, flexible seating and collaboration. Let your students move around and work together and be part of the learning process. You may decide on arranging your classroom with various seating options, like in pairs, in small groups, or even having the chairs pushed to the side. With flexible seating arrangements, students can easily move around and can help them feel more comfortable to engage in group work, promoting flexibility and collaboration in learning. Remember that true strength in our classroom lies in the collaboration of students, not in the knowledge of one expert. So there you have it, an overview of the 21st century classroom management. Remember that it's all about engagement through collaboration and ownership of learning, flexibility through cultural awareness, use of technology, and building relationships through social emotional learning, or SEL. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to The Learning Mindset for more tips and strategies to elevate your teaching. Also, I'd love to hear from you. What challenges have you faced in your classroom and what strategies have worked for you? Drop a comment below and let's get the conversation started. And once again, this is Teacher Don that nagsasabing, the best way to learn is by having a learning mindset. See you in the next episode.